Hello students, welcome to Eternal Easy Education. In this session, you are going to learn Chapter 10, Python Classes and Object. Content of this video is what is class method, what is constructor and what is destructor. I hope you remember this program. This program you learned in the previous video. Class name followed by colon, x comma y equal to 10 comma 20. This is said to be class variables. S equal to sample. This S is the object and this is said to be class instantiation. That means creation of the object, that process is said to be class instantiation. Then print value of x equal to s dot x. The object is accessing the class variable using dot operator, and again y and summation of x plus y. You will remember this. So we learnt class is a collection of class variables and methods. Now we are going to see how to add a method in a class. Python class function or method is very similar to ordinary function, with a small difference that the class method must have the first argument named as self. No need to pass a value for this argument when we call the method. That means if a function is having argument, then we have to pass the value while calling the function. But the class method function is going to have an argument, default argument with the label of self. We cannot change this, it's a keyword and this should be used as an argument, and if we have an argument we should give a value, am I right? But for this method we are not going to give any value. We'll see with the example, then you will get an idea. Python provides its value automatically. So first point, the class method should be defined with the argument self. If a method is defined to accept only one argument, it will take it as two arguments, that is self and the defined argument. We'll see this with the example and you'll get an idea. See this example. Class name is given. Class name is student followed by colon. Then mark 1, mark 2, mark 3 equal to 45, 91, 71. Mark 1 is 45, mark 2 is 91 and mark 3 is 71. So these are all class variables. Am I right? Now, how to define a function? Normal. In Python we have to use a keyword def. It is in the indentation of the class. You should know this. So the keyword is given followed by the function name, process. This is user defined function name. And the parameter is self. Here sum equal to student dot mark 1, then student dot mark 2. That is the variable is here and this variable is accessed by the class name here. Then AVG is for calculation of average. So average equal to sum by number of subject 3. So total and average. Then here I have given a normal function. That means, can you see the indentation? And here there is no indentation. It shows that it is out of the class. Then that is having one line for the printout. Here the class variable is, that means the object is created for the class student. Next, the function which is belong to that particular class is process. This is accessed with the point of s dot process, object dot operator, then method name. This function display is just called without any object because it is out of the class focus. It is not inside the scope, so it is just called. No need of using the object here. So here the object is created s.process. So inside the process function, it is having the student class variable mark1 45 plus 91 plus 71, and it is stored in the variable sum. So the total marks equal to sum. Can you see the total marks equal to 207. Next, average marks equal to AVG. So average marks equal to 207 by 3. Then return. After that, the next one is display. This normal function is called. So output for this function is display function. So that is given here. So are you able to follow? Here class name is given. Am I right? Next, class variables are declared, and also value is given, initialized or assigned. Then this is from this line to this line is the method of the class. How to identify this? Two things. One is it is in the indentation of the class. Next point, it is having an argument as self. Then how to call this function? First we have to create an object, then object dot function name. Here we are not passing any argument. We should not pass because the self is default keyword. Then this is a normal function which is not inside the class, and we can have methods like this. That means in a program we can have a class and a method inside the class, as well as we can use a normal function also. So this function is called only with the name. That is the difference. So you have learned three things. One is what is class variable. Next one, how to define a method inside a class. Next one, how to call the method of a class. Then how to define a normal function and how to call the normal function. Is it clear, children? Next topic is what is constructor. Do you remember the constructor in C++? The same procedure, that means same working principle. Constructor is a special function that is automatically executed when an object of a class is created. Same in C++ also. In Python, there is a special function called init. In C++, the class name and the method name will be same, but here a keyword is used, that is init, which acts as a constructor. It must begin and end with double underscore. This is very important. This function will act as an ordinary function, but only difference, it is executed automatically when the object is created. This constructor function can be defined with or without arguments. This method is used to initialize the class variables. This is the syntax. Def, as it is a function, it should start with the keyword def, and the constructor name is always double underscore init double underscore. So open bracket, close bracket. Within that, self is a default argument. After that, if we need, we can have our own arguments. Below that, we have to say the statement. So this is the syntax for the constructor. We'll see the example now. See the program. Class name is sample, and there are two methods inside the class. One is a constructor, double underscore init double underscore open bracket self comma num. Next one is a normal method. As it belongs to this class, each must have the keyword self. This is mandatory. Inside the constructor of the class sample, one output. The value is the given value num. Then another method is display. The value is self.num. I'll hold this and I'll explain you. First of all, you should know class name, then a constructor function is defined. Here I am just defined. Okay, I will comment this also. We will see one by one what's the difference. Here only one constructor is here. Am I right? See here, the object is created. While creating the object itself, a value is given. Because this constructor is going to be called while the object is created. As this constructor is having a variable, we have to, and the value is printed. We'll see the output now. So constructor is called because we didn't use any dot operator or didn't call this unit name. We just created the constructor with the value of 10 because it is having an argument. The constructor of class sample and the value is 10 because we have given us 10. You understand the concept? Suppose if there is no argument, you think like that. The constructor is alone, no argument. Then what I have to do means, just I have to create the object. S equal to sample. That means object is created. Yes, object is created and the statement inside the constructor is executed. Is it clear? So you know why we are passing the argument, because it is having a argument here, so we are giving the value. Okay, fine. This is a constructor. Am I right? Suppose the program is having another method and this method want to use that variable name. That means the value in the variable num. The constructor is initializing a value and it should be used in another function of the same class. How to use this? So we can have another method and we can use the value here also. So here 100 is given. This is given to the constructor. There is another method also in the same class and both are using the value. No, it's saying error because here num is there. From this point to this, the n is the value of num is okay, but here we are asking the num to print, but here it is not passed. So to overcome this error, we have to use one line. Self.num equal to num. So simply we can use self.num. Okay. So the 100 is given to the constructor and the num is assigned to self.num and the value is printed in the constructor and the same value is printed in another function. Both are displaying the value. Is it clear? Constructor name, constructor definition with the argument and the value is given and the variable is assigned to the self.num variable and it is able to use in other method which is present inside the same class. Class variable defined within constructor keep count of a number of objects created with the class. Class variable is shared by all the objects of the class. Class variable is similar to static type in C++. So what they want to say is, Class variable is shared by all the objects of the class. So what is the use of this? See by example. See the example here. This is the class variable. Okay. What is the class name? Sample. Right. What is the class variable? Num, and it is given with the value of 0. Am I right? Then how many methods inside the class? Only one constructor. I'll explain this later, but it is a destructor. So only one constructor is given, def followed by double underscore init double underscore. So it is a constructor. Am I right? Okay. Then here how many objects are created? 3 objects. S1, S2, S3. First I'll hold the, we have only one object now. Okay. Now when the object is created, the value 15 is given to the variable var. Here sample.num, that means this num. Sample.num plus equal to 1 means already it is 0, it is increased to 1. Then self.var equal to var. This 15 is given to the self.var variable. Next, the object value is var. So it is, here it is 15 means here also 15. Then the value of class variable is sample.num. So here it should be 1. So here it is the 1. Okay, we'll see this. Okay, object value is 15 and the value of class variable is 1. Think if we are having another object S2 with the value of 35. Okay. Normally what will happen means, if the object is created, again it will go to the class scope and num equal to 0 means it should start with 0. But what will happen here means this will not initialize again. It remains with the last value. So it will behave like a static variable which is present in C++. Static means it remains with the last value. It will not initialize each time. Only one initialization is there. So here also it behaves like static. So the last value is 1. So it is again 1 plus 1 will move to 2. And the second object is called. Check here. So the object value is 15, then the class variable is 1. Next, the object value is 35, the class variable is 2. Is it clear? What will happen if we have another object? Again the value of 45 is passed, but the static remains to be 2. So it will increase to 3. Okay, 15 class variable is 1, then 35 class variable is 2, then 45 the class variable is 3. So now we are going to see the example for destructor. So up to constructor we know that a constructor class must have a keyword of init with a double underscore before and after. So what is a destructor? Destructor is also a special method, gets executed automatically when an object exits from the scope. It is just opposite to constructor. In Python, underscore, double underscore del, again double underscore method is used as destructor. Okay, we'll see the example. So this is constructor. Okay. Now this is the destructor. So destructor is called when the object is out of the scope. That means when the program gets closed. Here in C++, we didn't call the destructor. Here also we are not going to call the destructor. It is going to execute automatically. But to show it in the output, I am using this del S3, del S2, del S1. What does this mean is object name. So I am deleting the object one by one to show the output on the output screen. So first I'll comment and we'll see the execution one by one. Okay. Destructor is here. What does in the destructor means? After the creation of the object 1 with the variable 15 and object 2 with the variable 35 and the object 3 with the value 45. Then sample.num, that means the static variable which is in increment position. First it is 0. After that, when the object is created, it starts increasing with 1, 2, 3. So here it is 3. Sample.num will hold the value 3. 3 object with the value self.var, that is 45, is exit from the scope. That is the output statement of the del function. Okay, I'll run the program. So you can see object value 15 and the class variable is 1. These are the output of the constructor. Okay. Now the destructor is not explicitly given the result. Here we can have the result del S3. So the third object with the value 45 is exit from the scope. Instead of writing in the screen, I am given the del statement inside the program itself. So after running this, we can get the constructor and destructor output. So up to this is constructor. After that, so third object value 45 is exit from the scope, and second object with the value 35 is exit from the scope, and the first object 15 is exit from the scope. So if it is a 5-mark question, you can write this program and give the output. So you understand the concept constructor and destructor. Constructor is with the variable init, destructor with the statement of del. Both should have underscore before and after. This is double underscore. Constructor also not called, destructor also not called. Constructor is called when the object is created. Destructor is called when the object is destroyed or exit from the scope. So we have a recap. Class method must have the first argument named as self. No need to pass a value for this argument when we call the method. Next, constructor is the special function that is automatically executed when an object of the class is created. Syntax is def double underscore init double underscore. Within that bracket we have to say the arguments below that statement. So what is the destructor? Destructor is also a special method, gets executed automatically when an object exits from the scope. Syntax def double underscore del double underscore self below that statements. I hope you understood the concept. That's all for this session. Thank you. Have a good day.